Hi, I'm Ivan, and this is Becoming Rich Project. Take 3, video number 1. Where do I start? This channel is about me starting from scratch, from $0, with a goal to raise $500,000 to buy an apartment. I'm literally resetting my whole financial status to 0 and see if I can rebuild from scratch. I intend to reach my goal as a sideline from my normal job with incremental savings, stock investing, and better tax management practices. I'm gonna do what wealthy people do to become rich and keep a diary about it. I intend to reach this goal within about a year or 2, and it's almost like a social experiment. I will even be showing my bank accounts needed for this project, including my everyday bank account and credit card balances. I want to be able to show it's possible even from a person who I think is lazy like me. And I don't have to sacrifice my twice daily coffee for it. Like and subscribe, and learn with me how to achieve the Australian dream, or American dream. I've decided to invest in the property market, but it's not something I've really been into. So for the longest time, I've postponed investing in property purely because I know next to nothing about it. A word of advice: never invest in things you know nothing about. I don't invest in things I don't know about, and I'd rather gamble in new experiences and learn than white picket fences. But looking at the future, it's time to learn. The market is practically begging for an increase in consumer spending. We know this because of 1, lower taxes. Practically everyone got an income tax refund here in Australia. Most getting over $1,000 this year. 2, the Reserve Bank of Australia interest rate cuts means that mortgage right now will be low. Who would have thought borrowing would be anywhere less than 4% once upon a time, and now it's at 3%. With outlook of further interest rate cuts, the likelihood is the interest rate cuts will be even lower by the time this project achieves its goal, and we know this. Number 3, in terms of property, there is an increased demand and low supply, especially in Sydney, Australia. So what do we know? We know that the Australian economy is driven by consumer consumption, and population is controlled through immigration. So if we look at about 30 years from now, at least here in Australia, it's a no-brainer in terms of investing. Those people always saying I can't afford it instead of how can I afford it? Sorry, not sorry. I think people who says I can't afford it are lazy people like me. Oftentimes I say I can't afford it. Even realistically I can, but because I'm not really bothered, or I can't really be bothered. Why am I doing this? I like the idea of earning an income when I'm sleeping, because I already do, but I'm kind of resetting everything to 0 and then keep a diary. Straight up, I don't really want to work anymore. I don't want to lean in, I want to lie down. Which was a joke. I know that Ali Wong coined it first. It's in her series on Netflix. Jokes aside though, I decided to give it a go. Start from 0 and create a fun experience. The story behind that is when I filed my tax return this year, my interest on savings was taxed at 45%. That's a ripoff. In addition to inflation, which is roughly about 2% per year, I'm losing money. Every saver is losing money. The interest earned on my personal 401k can barely keep up with inflation, and the government takes away nearly half of the return of investment, while raising the retirement age, increasing the risk of my being dead before I can even dip into my superannuation. Everyday workers like us will not be better off in 5 to 10 years than where we are now if we do nothing. So I've thought up a plan to save and then invest in stocks. I know people say that investing in stocks is risky, but dude, everything has risks. Your parents are risks. My parents will be a liability financially speaking in my future. I'm gonna have to eventually keep them close so that they can work on things like organizing family affairs, so I don't have to do it, ultimately making them assets and not be liabilities. Right now, holding money in a savings account is a risk. So for me, money, like everything in life, is about managing risks and resolving those issues. I have a plan, but I give myself permission to change my mind. In a way, this is a how-to guide to manage financial risks. Like a hedge fund manager, but I wouldn't call myself a hedge fund manager because I don't really like them, to be honest. And plus, I'm a 9-to-5 worker, Monday to Friday, and ordinary person who just likes to invest in stocks. And now it's gonna be also properties. One of my current risks is paying too much tax. The more income I generate, the more tax I pay, which I think is unreasonable. For everyday blokes like me who are happy to be a 9-to-5 slave of society for the love of career and passion. I often say to friends and family, it's better to pay less tax and get a phone call from the taxman than pay more than what you're supposed to and not get a phone call at all. Let them do their job. If they find you've made a mistake, then let them show you what you've done wrong and what you need to learn to fix it. If on your tax return, you accidentally declare 50% of your income to tax, do you think anyone will give you a call? I like the tax man, but only as much as I like poverty. Sorry, but I'd rather have control of where my contribution to society goes than some politician who knows next to nothing about poverty. So here's the fair go. Why have a video diary? Well, the best way to improve is to learn from mistakes. We all know that. Also because of time efficiency. Did I mention that I'm lazy? A video log is easier and quicker than a blog. Lazy people are the best in finding the quickest way to get shit done. Also, I've created a YouTube channel because I want to learn how to create YouTube channels. I've always used YouTube as a learning tool. And right now, my goal is to raise 500,000, so every penny counts. If I reach 1 million views, I'd consider monetizing this channel, but the objective is to attract like-minded people and go through the journey with me and learn together. It's scientifically proven that success is more likely if you keep tabs on what you're doing and surround yourself with like-minded people. How am I going to be raising 500,000? Well, I'll show you, because ultimately you're going to help me. That's the beauty of this diary. I created a company where I will then invest into. I think I'll be able to claim that back as business expense, but we need to ask a tax expert on that. Not to get too technical, my savings will be the capital investment to fund the company. This company will then invest in the stock market. I will be employed by this company as a trader, but I won't be paying myself a wage. So, zero income tax, Medicare levy, superannuation. Since I will be working from home, my electricity, phone bills, etc. should become partially business expenses and therefore should be tax deductible. Stocks will become assets of the company, and as it continues to grow, will create the revenue and growth that we need. We know that revenue minus cost equals profit, and if cost is greater than revenue, again, possible tax offsets available there. Here in Australia, we call it negative gearing. The key word here is growth. Over time, will allow us access to credit. More on that later. Whether or not I succeed, I'd at least have a diary to show for it. I'll need a written plan, so not to set myself up for failure. Purchasing a $500,000 apartment to start a property portfolio by creating a simple savings plan, turning into an investment plan, should take about 1 to 2 years. Yes, 1 to 2 years. Did I mention I have a plan? I've been planning this for a while, and I need to put that plan into paper, so I guess that's my next diary, the plan. Put my project management and perhaps agilist skills to the test. A side note, every real project manager, especially in the contracting world, usually has a business for better management of their own personal finances, risks, and issues. You have to ask, if they don't, then you kind of have to wonder why hire someone to manage your organization's budget, risks, and issues to achieve a cost-effective outcome. These videos will serve as a guide to how to be a lazy rich person. Seriously though, I will need help along the way, especially how to make videos, YouTube in general, and creating as much revenue streams as possible. I want to utilize every tool available and explore the power of social media as well. Because once in a while, you get those amazing advice that you wouldn't have thought of from some random's comment or a random video you just watch. This channel will serve as one of the many strategies for that purpose. Ultimately, shared knowledge going both ways. This includes how to set up a company, creating wealth through compound interest, consumer confidence, market research, better financial management, tax management, and guide to how to be a lazy person but become wealthy, making a world a better place. Those unsolicited advice that helps achieve success faster and more efficient. That's it from me. This is my first video, so don't shoot me down. Thanks for watching. Bye.